Good evening, friends, followers, channel members. Happy Friday. Friday night, of course, but we're not at night time here in the stream, as per usual. VATSIM flights, we don't want nighttime flights while we can't see other aircraft. So good to see all of you. Plenty of time for you to go and grab yourselves a drink, settle in for a nice flight from Palma De Mallorca up to Lyon. Again, this is another real-world Easyjet flight. I don't know if it actually flew today or it might have been yesterday, but you can check out the call sign. You'll find it on Flight Radar 24. 1 hour and 11 minutes to be precise, the flight time today, but obviously we've got all our ground prep to do and briefings, things like that, so it should be a decent length stream, which hopefully you will enjoy and get settled in for. Good evening to Pilot Pat, Talia, Rocky and Dr. Magic, Easyjetsimpilot channel members. Thank you so much for coming on board this evening. Darren, you flew from Bristol to Palma and back again today. Wow, have you not been working today, Darren? That sounds like a great day. Kenny, Jasmine, and Flights of Aviation, hello to you guys as well. And Talia is serving up pumpkin pie in honour of a Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, of course. I don't know too much about the American and the Canadian holidays. I know the American, is it something like, it's November the 5th, around then, the American one? Apologies to anyone that I may have offended for getting that wrong. And I certainly didn't know that it was the Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. That's well beyond my British jurisdiction. Completely unaware of when that's celebrated over there in Canada. So we are on VATSIM. We are in the experimental version as per usual here at Palma. We're going to go in and get set up in just a couple of minutes. Dark Fury, hello. Good to see you as well. Hope you've all had a great week, and I do like these Friday night flights. Great way to rewind and unlax. Rewind and unlax. Should we try that again? Unwind and relax. As you can tell, I think I could do with some of that. It's been one of those weeks this week, and hopefully everyone's got a nice, good weekend lined up. Happy Maple Syrup Day. Good evening, HD, to you. Hope you are well. I can see the luggage boys and the catering guys starting to move. Our GPU is now in position. I do love the detail that this airport has got. I'll just have a very quick look around because this is this is beautiful, isn't it? If you haven't seen this airport before, then do go and take a look at this. This is the Just Sim Palma de Mallorca airport. Really, really nice. Just have a look to see if we've got any other traffic around, actually, because oh, there we go, there's a departing aircraft. We do have ATC on board here as well today. Oh, there's another aircraft over there as well. Other than that, Palma actually looks quite quiet this evening. The weather looks in particularly beautiful, so take note of that as we begin our briefs. Magnus Mellon, thank you so much for a very, very early donation there, and it says cheers from, I want to say that's Gothenburg, isn't it? My apologies if that is incorrect. Echo Sierra Golf. Is that Gothenburg Airport? I think if it is, we've been there once before, and I said I would come back because it was a visually stunning approach going in there. But that is so very kind of you, Magnus. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the flight we've got lined up for you this evening. Right, let's get on board then, shall we? So aircraft in its current turnaround state. Let's just go through and check all the things that we would normally check. A lot of it, of course, is already done in the turnaround state, but quickly checking the overhead. We've got all the packs, fuel pumps off, ideas are still aligned, and no smoking signs, passenger seatbelt signs off, etc. Basically just checking that no lights are showing or illuminated that we wouldn't expect to be. We'll come down then and check the standby and anti-skid. They're all fine. Come and have a quick look at the pedestal. Have we still got the guard on 1215? That we do. And flight deck door is currently open. Switching panel is normal. Thrust levers, engine masters, engine mode selector, and we can reset the rudder trim there as well. That would normally be done on the after start checks anyway, but we'll go ahead and do that. Parking brake, flaps and transponder and TCAS all where we would expect. we'll come up to the glare shield then, and I know my departure should be a initial climb of 4,000 feet, so I'll go ahead and set that. We'll put flight directors 1 and 2 on, get the constraints on, and then come across and just set the main instrument panel up. Everything looks great there. We've currently got 1.9 ton of fuel on board. We're going to do some refueling in a moment. Oh, speaking of which, I've not given you guys the operational flight plan, so just bear with me one second. So operational flight plan for this flight is now coming in the YouTube chat for anybody who is watching on YouTube. We are of course on Facebook and also streaming to Twitch as well this evening. If you are watching on there as well, there we go. That's now pinned for you for anyone that wants to check out the flight plan and the weather and things. So yeah, all that looks good. I will just hit the recall button, make sure that that's done. Okay, everything looks well. We'll have a look at setting up the box in a moment, but let's go ahead and have a look at that operational flight plan. I've already had a look at it prior to the stream starting, as pilots would. Basically, we should be in for a very nice flight. As we can see, flight level 360, we've got a headwind today of 21, so not massive. A nice simple route, flight time 1 hour and 11 minutes. Again, we'll just come down here. So plan block fuel is just under 5.1. Well, if we take if we load 5.6, we'll take half a ton extra, and that should be fine. So let's go ahead and tell the guys to start loading that in. We'll request 5.6 tons of fuel. There we go, 5,600. We get that loaded in. Back to the OFP then, as that's underway. Let's get the APU started as well. We've got to get that on before we can get any passengers on board. So APU master 1, 2, 3, and start. Is that the format for my operational flight plan is the Easyjet format. I guess you could probably have guessed that, couldn't you? Yeah, so why I've only loaded half a ton of fuel extra? Well, basically the weather. It's really nice. Just have a quick scout down the moors as well. No massive areas flagging up for me just there. We've got a nice well, we actually should have a nice ILS arrival into Lyon. However, ILS runway 35 right is unserviceable. I saw that on the NOTAMs, so we'll plan to do the RNP approach because it's yeah, it's not available to us. Let's just have a quick look then. Here's the weather. Look at this, beautiful. Wind was currently variable, few clouds and overcast, 5,000, QNH 1022. No significant changes, which I like to see. And again, you can just see the forecast there, 360 at 5 knots. Great visibility. A bit of a lowish cloud layer, broken 1,300, but nothing that's going to prevent us, hopefully, from getting in. Some bad weather then becomes a little bit overnight, and that's just fog and mist, which you'd expect early morning after a warm day. It's been a warm day here in the UK as well today, actually. The alternates are all looking nice and wide open as well, so nothing that I can see there should we have a problem. We'll check the wind and get the latest ATIS from Palma as well before we set off. This flight plan was created around 2-3 hours ago, so this is obviously not the current weather, and there was a forecast of, did I see forecast of gusts? A probability of 40% forecast of gusts up to 25, but we just need to be aware of that on takeoff. No NOTAMs here in Mallorca that are going to concern us, but the approach procedure in Lyon, as we can see, where's that gone? We've got some information on parking stands, etc., just there for helicopters and whatnot. But there it is. ILS runway 35 right is currently unserviceable, so that's why we're going to plan for the RNP approach. Just scouting down through the rest of this, there's all the alternates information. Let's just have a look at the SIGMET as well, and you can see we've already mentioned a little bit of those winds, not in our favour this evening, but have a look at the SIGMET, there is nothing there. So half a ton extra seems nice and adequate. we're on with loading that now, and we should see that starting to go up. There we go. Let's now get the APU bleed on, and once we've done that, I'll just set the chrono going, let that going for a moment. And I think then we can start looking up at setting up the McDo. So this is the weights and balance page, and I'm just going to request boarding. Technically, of course, we don't board until the APU bleed area is on, but this basically is just adding weights to the aircraft. So we'll go with that. Request that off. A payload of 17784. We'll just check that matches up. 17884. So a slight discrepancy there of about 100 kilograms. Okay, sadly nothing I can do about that because I can't actually edit that. Unless, can I actually add a passenger? Let's see. So if I typed in there 37, does that work? No, apparently not. Oh well, never mind. We'll just have to live with it. Okay, so let's start that. We'll check the gross weight as well once all the passenger weights are on, and of course we've got our fuel. We'll see how that goes. APU has been running for long enough now, so let's turn the packs on and we can start the boarding process from the self-loading cargo guys. So let me just go ahead and do that.
Cabin crew, we're all happy with how things are up here, so now open the doors and start letting our passengers on board. Thank you.
No problem.
So is the jetway coming across? Here it comes. Passengers are about ready to start boarding. And then we'll go through and have a look at setting this up. Okay, so onto the data page. 3 nav green, aircraft status, LEAP engines, new Airac cycle in today, so that's good to see. Onto the init page, and we'll get this up linked and uploaded from ACARS. Alternate is, where is that? We've actually got Geneva as the alternate today, so that's Lima Sierra Golf Golf. And our flight number, Easyjet Europe 54 Papa X-ray. So that's Alpine 54 Papa X-ray. Not the worst call sign, but definitely not the best. Cost index of 8 and cruise flight level 360. Temperature of -51. Happy to leave that. As I say, the flight plan we've got shows -49, but that was a few hours old now. Tropo is much closer to 48,000 feet. So let's go ahead and pop that in. There we go. Christian, I think this is, unless I've selected the wrong profile. We have had it working before, unless I selected the wrong profile just for the for this flight plan. Christian says that I'm using the old profile, so that's why zero fuel weights won't match with the new boarding system. I didn't think I had. Let me know if you spotted something there though, Christian, because there is a chance. I've been messing around with some of these today, so there is a possibility. I think I'd say it was 100. It was 100 kilograms out, so not the end of the world, but never mind. Onto the flight plan then. We're expecting a runway 06 right departure, so it's going to be the Meros 6 Bravo. Mero 6 Bravo, and then we'll insert that once it's loaded. At the other end, we're expecting at the other end, what are we expecting? 35 right. So I'm going to put in the RNAV for 35 right. If ATC are online, they may not actually stick to the NOTAMs, they may give us an ILS, in which case we can go with it. But that's going to be the MTL5 November. There it is. And I think that's via Arbon. Let's have a quick check. There it is. And there's our initial approach from Arbon. That gives us a distance of 404 miles. The operational flight plan says 422, so that's okay. Let's carry on. Time of 1 hour, that's nice. Christian, the new profile is Delta Alpha Fox Bravo Whiskey. Have I used that in the past? My mistake, I must have gotten just completely confused between the two. But if I've used the Alpha Fox Bravo Whiskey, then obviously that's the one that we've used in the past. So my mistake. As I say, it shouldn't cause too many errors tonight. Onto the RadNav page then. A couple of things we're going to pop in there. We're going to put in the where's it gone? The Juliet Oscar Alpha, want that in there, and we also want the Mike Juliet Victor. Two VORs, which we can use not just for situational awareness, but we can also need them in the event of an engine out on departure. Onto the init B page, and so we've got a zero fuel weight of 64. So yeah, you can see that's just out slightly, isn't it? But never mind. So zero fuel weight of 64. This is accurate for the aircraft, though, remember. So that's all right for us as long as we know that it's slightly different. A headwind of 21. Fuel planning then says 4.2, and we're taking, well, we'll use 5.5 for our planning. Let's have a look. Christian, you've been using plus 12 for your fuel factor, and that's still not enough. How long have the flights been? A takeoff weight then of 69.3. That's fine. Fuel for the alternate required, we'll call that a ton of fuel, and that gives an extra 21 minutes flight time. Chalty, good evening, sir. Hope you're well. And Richard Evans, great to see you as well. So that's all set up. Onto the performance page. So the flap setting for our departure is going to be flaps 1. We'll do a toga departure, and the transition altitude here is 6,000 feet. Thrust reduction acceleration is 1525. And interestingly, the engine out acceleration is 1025. It would help if I put that in the right box, wouldn't it? 1025. There we go. So these V speeds 141, 137, and 136. Okay, so we will go and get our departure now. HD's given us some performance figures. Fantastic. So that's going to be a flex of 65, 147, 147, 148. Green dot is spot on. Let's just go ahead and amend that. There we go. Okay. So then, let's have a look, and in fact, before we go any further, let's contact ATC and make sure everything we've got in the box is correct. Don't want to do a full brief and then find out actually it's going to be slightly different. So, as we chat along to ATC, I'm just going to close the flight deck door, and we'll just kill the boarding music as well. Now our ATC is still online for us. There's the ATIS ILS departure runway 06 right, so we know that's fine. And we'll give them a call, 119.4. I've also remembered this time to turn off my pesky co-pilot who keeps fiddling with my radio dials. And we'll just check. Oh, tower is on actually, 118.3. So let's just go ahead and tune 118.3 instead. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to do this slightly differently. Get rid of the Unicom. 118.3, and then I'm going to have the approach control on standby.
43 radar contact.
So Leopard Tower 118.3, and the standby is set to the departure frequency, which is 119.4. Let's give them a call. Palma Tower, good evening, Alpine 54 Papa X-ray type A320neo parking stand 22 requesting IFR clearance as filed to Lyon, and we have information Kilo on board. Radio silence. So they're showing online on vPilot. Unless they're currently logging on and they're not quite there yet. Palma Tower, Alpine 54 Papa X-ray, radio check. That's interesting. Normally, if he stepped away, then he will obviously inform other aircraft on the ground, and if that's the case, they would normally come back and let me know that he was away just for a moment. Okay, well, what we'll do is we'll brief what we can for the time being. So, let's just get the charts. So the weather here in Palma, very, very nice today. I like Palma as well. We've got nice two long runways. So any issues with the aircraft on our departure, we're not going to have any problems returning here. Runway 6 left would be in use for landing. The aircraft is the A320NX from FlyByWire, experimental version, so we don't have terrain, we don't have TCAS, and we don't have an active weather radar. No TAMs to be aware of, nothing here in Palma, but we've already discussed the fact that the ILS is unserviceable at the other end. Threats to be aware of here, let's just have a quick look. So we know that we've got terrain to the north of the field. As we depart, our minimum safe altitude is going to be 3,000 feet, so obviously any issues after departure, if we can get above that, then we know we're safe. With regards to how we expect our pushback and departure to go, are they not using voice? We would, as I say, we're parked at stand number 22, so we're going to push back. Presumably we'll be facing to the east, northeast, and then we'll taxi out, probably straight down Lima Fox, down the link onto Kilo. Is it Kilo? Yeah. So actually, no, they may not bring us onto Kilo. They might bring us all the way down on Mike. Although actually, let me just check this. Oh, they bring us on the south. It's called the South Taxway. So we'll do the link, then the south. Would they use the South Taxway? HD's probably got some local knowledge here, particularly without any ATC. I would imagine they would clear this, but they could use the South Taxway because no aircraft are landing on runway 6 right. So we could come down the link on the South Taxway, and then we would look to hold at Hotel 6. let's have another quick call to see if Tower are there. Then we'll quickly brief the departure, but it's nice and straight out. We'll need to also just brief the emergency brief as well. So let's try again. Palma Tower, Alpine 54 Papa X-ray, radio check.
Who is this? Alpine 54 Papa X-ray confirmed.
Good evening, Alpine 54 Papa X-ray is type A320 Neo, requesting IFR clearances filed to Lyon stand 22, and we have information Kilo.
Alpine 54 Papa X-ray, Papa, information Lima current, clear to Lyon, transferring Neo from X, via the 06 Bravo departure route on the 065. Flight plan route, climbing to 4,000 feet, score 6250.
Cleared via the Mero 6 Bravo, departure runway 06 right, initial climb 4,000 feet. Information Lima present, and can we just get a get that squawk again for us, please? Alpine 54 Papa X-ray, could we just repeat the squawk for us, please?
Score 6250.
And squawk 6250 for Alpine 54 Papa X-ray. Squawk set, initial climb 4,000 feet is set. He hasn't told us that our readback was correct, actually. So HD we're going to expect out via the Fox link and then south. Fair enough. Christopher Shaw, good evening, sir. Hope you're well. And Alpine 54 Papa X-ray, just confirm readback was correct.
Papa X-ray, absolutely well, isn't it? Yes, correct. QNH 1019.
QNH 1019 for Alpine 54 Papa X, thank you, and we'll call when ready for push and start. QNH 1019, all is good. Okay, so
No worries, mate, take your time.
we straight out departure as we said just there, and we've got Meros, our final exit point. Nice RNAV departure. We'll just check that our flight plan looks to be coded correctly. So Juliet Oscar Alpha 8 miles, there's that track of 053, and then it's Tonis and Meros. Good to see. Are the constraints turned on? Yeah, we've got the constraints turned on. Right, anything else that we want to pop onto the navigation display? Let's just pop in a couple of things. So I'm going to just pop in the Mac Juliet Victor on there, and then I'll do the emergency brief. And I just want that, so I know that's going to be our holding point should anything go wrong. So emergency brief then. It's pretty standard and straightforward. ATC is online, so if we're on the ground and we're taxiing and we have a problem, we'll stop the aircraft to tell ATC, try and solve the issue, run any ECAM drills if we can, and then if we can continue, great. If not, we'll have to look sadly to return to the stand. On departure, my takeoff. Any problems or warnings before 100 knots, we'll consider stopping, but after 100 knots up to V1, then only stop for uninhibited ECAM warnings, cautions, engine fires and failures, and that's with or without thrust loss, or of course if I think the aircraft is completely unsafe to fly. If that's the case, I'll call stop, go Mach traverse, keep the aircraft nice and straight on the runway, and I can also use manual braking if I don't think the auto brake is doing the job. Sorry, I just got interrupted there by ATC. Once we come to a stop, we'll stop the reverser, set the parking brakes, and then we'll check any ECAM and fault lights, establish the cause of the failure. Once we have done that, we'll ask ATC if we can vacate the runway. Obviously, if it was more serious like an engine fire, then we'd have to consider running the evacuation checklist. Failure after V1, we'll get the aircraft into the air. If it was an engine failure, we'll fly using a standard technique, 12.5 degree pitch, and then once the aircraft has a positive rate of climb, we'll get the gear up, trim out the yaw, and then we can engage the autopilot. It's a non-standard engine out procedure just here, so we would get with the autopilot on. I'll pull the we can pull the heading book, although actually we wouldn't need to pull the heading book straight away. We don't need to be too concerned with that, because what our non-standard engine out procedure here is at 7 miles we make a right hand turn to a heading of 117, which is quite close to begin with for the standard instrument departure, but at 7 miles we'll go into heading mode, make a right turn 117, then when we're at 2,000 feet it's a right hand turn to the Mike Juliet Victor VOR, and that's our holding point. Once the engine is secure and we're above single engine acceleration and we've completed that turn, we'll push the level off, accelerate, retract flaps on schedule, and then at green dot we'll go open climb and set maximum continuous thrust. Once we've then entered the hold, we'll decide what it is exactly we're going to do. Okay, so I think everybody is now on board. The doors have been closed. The jetway I think is about to start retracting, or at least should do. There it goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our Easyjet service. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat. To help us ensure a prompt departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
Thanks a lot.
So a couple of things I want to check. We've got 3 nav green, and on the fuel page 5560, and it's nicely balanced. Okay, so I think we're about ready to run the before takeoff checklist to the line. So quick look at the overhead, check if it is there where it should be, and yeah, all looks good. So before start checklist, cockpit preparation is complete, our signs are on and auto, ADIA is 3 nav green, fuel quantity is 5560 kilograms and balanced, and FMGS is set, altimeter 1019.
Leemos. 1 Echo November, Palma De Mallorca, reduce velocidad, continue aproximación, viento 060, 5 nudos.
Continuamos aproximación y reducimos velocidad, va 1 con November.
So we'll get our ground crew called, and then once they're in place we'll contact ATC. Just before we do that, let's do the before start checklist below the line. So windows and doors are closed and armed, beacon light is on, mobile phone, I shall pop that on silent. Friday night it always seems to beep away more than normal, so we'll make sure that's not being interrupted. And parking brake is set.
This is ground, stand by.
So they should be doing their walk around at the moment. And I'll wait for them to give us the all clear, then we'll request our push.
The bypass speed is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brake
brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
Rico 87, good evening, sir. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a good week as well. Welcome to the Friday night stream.
Standing by for pushback.
Okay, so they're all happy and ready. Let's let ATC know we're ready to go. Palma Tower Alpine 54 Papa X-ray stand 22 is ready for push and start. We may end up having to give this ATC text rather than voice. So just send him a message, see if he comes back to us via text. Must be a very busy time in the control tower. Pushback facing east, startup approved, QNH 1019. Okay, so happy to go. Pushback and face east. We'll start the pushback, then we'll start the engines.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck this morning, let me welcome you on board this Easyjet aircraft. As you settle in, we hope it's going to be a most enjoyable flight. The weather today doesn't look to be posing much of a problem, so we should have a nice smooth ride of you throughout the duration of the flight. And as the camera crew continue making their last preparations, if you could please assist them by getting yourselves sat down, your seatbelts fastened, and make yourselves
Start the engines in sequence.
The ground crew have now finished loading the aircraft, and we're just about finished with all our pre-flight checks, so it won't be long until we are pushing.
Starting engine 1, engine 1 selector to start, and starting engine 1. Paranoia check that the bleed ev is on.
So on behalf of myself and the first officer, we'd like to say thank you for choosing Easyjet today, and we look forward to giving you a safe flight.
Glad I looked behind me. Normally VATSIM ATC are spot on. I'm a little bit dubious with the tower controller here. Good spot PM. Not that I think ATC would notice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times.
Russell, no, this isn't the place where the volcano is erupting. That's La Palma, not Palma de Mallorca.
Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping.
Starting engine 2.
If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft.
Gary Bolvin, good evening to you. Hope you've had a good week. Thanks for stopping on by this evening.
Needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light.
Darren, I think this is from Sim Market. I think this is just Sim's Palma.
Must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with Easyjet.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Runway 06 left, clear to land,
Lowering aircraft.
Palma De Mallorca, good evening. Vous êtes à 26 Lima Papa, request MSFS to not with information 9.
See you at the side. Have a
So,
good flight.
26 Lima Papa, bonsoir à vous.
Thank you.
Noch ein Freund. Information Mike current clear to Nantes.
Hey Ronald, good to see you. Danny Rubble as well. Thanks for coming on board this evening.
500 plan initial flight 100, score 6202.
Rico, when am I flying to Amsterdam? Most beautiful place on earth. Easy place to get lost though.
Vous êtes à 26 Lima Papa, clear for Nantes with Espoir 3 Bravo departure. Initial climb flight level 100 and runway 06 right and score 6202.
Well, it's here 26 Lima Papa, we start to right, PNH 1011.
PNH 1011, vous êtes à 26 Lima Papa.
And the after start checklist. Anti-ice not required. Ecam status is checked. Pitch trim 23.7 and rudder trim 0. Let's do our flight control check. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral rudder, full right rudder, full left and neutral. Pushback tug is clear. Let's try and get a taxi clearance. Palma Tower, Alpine 54 Papa X-ray is ready for taxi.
Papa X-ray, confirm for taxi.
Confirm, we're ready for taxi. 54 Papa X-ray.
Papa X-ray, watch out, taxi 1.06 right, via Lima Delta, Gate Foxtrot, link, and up.
Taxi via Lima Foxtrot, Foxtrot link and the south to holding point Hotel 6406 right, Alpine 54 Papa X-ray. Spot on with that call, HD. Nicely guessed. Estimated guess though, wasn't it? Well,
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
get that all sorted, release the parking brakes, and we'll start to move once we're on the long straight taxis. Plenty of time to get the weather radars turned on. And Callum, thank you so much, Callum. That is incredibly generous of you, Callum, with a £20 donation there. Says a bottle of plonk and cheese platter for you and HD once you clock off. Callum, that is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for that. Really, really do appreciate your support there, Callum. Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you for being on board. Hope you enjoy the stream and have a great weekend to come. GD, I use a headset. Now the good thing about this airport, in case you can't tell already, yeah, in case you can't tell, all of the signage on the taxiways is absolutely spot on, which when you're on VATSIM you really want. So I'm hoping this is stand 26 and then it's not the next right turn, it's the one after that. We'll get a nice cheese platter for HD. Michael Buck, hello from Sika Cruise, New York. Thank you for coming on board with us this evening. We'll head down the link. Slow the aircraft down for the taxi. Oh, too much. We'll head down the link and then we'll get the radios on. Not that they work. The radars, rather. And then we'll do the PEDS check and we'll do the before takeoff checklist. So now we're on the link. Got the weather radar on. Oh, actually, I've already done it, haven't I? I'm ahead of myself. Well, that's good. Nice to be ahead. And Barry, thank you so much, Barry. Says, glad I can understand the tower. You think you'd need to type? Do you know what? I am getting better at understanding the foreign accents on VATSIM, and it's great. It really is. You get that sense of being somewhere else in the world. So it can take a little bit of practice, and to be honest with you, I think the sort of the educated guess from HD as to where we were going to go, I could almost see where we were going, but HD backed that up, and yeah, when he rattled it off, I knew where we were then headed. So thanks very much, Barry. Really do appreciate that. So before let's just do our pets check. So a performance hasn't changed. QNH is still 1019. The engine out procedure is a right hand turn at 7 miles from the Juliet Oscar Alpha VOR, which I've just turned on, and then at 2,000 feet it's a right hand turn to the Mike Juliet Victor. The departure matches what we have in the FMGC, and stop altitude is 4,000 feet. Bill, thank you so much, Bill. That is incredibly generous of you. Bill with a $25 donation, he says, love the channel. Really do appreciate that, Bill. That is so very kind of you. Thank you very much, and really glad that you like the channel as well. That's great to hear. So thank you for coming on board with us this evening. We'll get down this straight, and then we'll do the before takeoff checklist. I'm just going to revisit that engine out procedure as well. I think I missed a step on that, so we'll revisit that. Just to confirm, that engine out procedure is non-standard. At 7 miles, make a right-hand turn to 117 degrees. Then at 2,000 feet, it's a right-hand turn to the Mike Juliet Victor holding point. So the before takeoff checklist. Flight controls have been checked. Departure briefing is now confirmed. Flight departure briefing is confirmed. Flap setting is config 1. And set FMA takeoff data 147 blue, 148 magenta, climb nav blue, 1FD2, 4065 degrees flex. Transponder is set, ECAM memo, takeoff no blue, and the electronic flight bag is stowed. Oh, I see the entertainment's entered the chat room.
Volet at 6, Lima Papa, ready for push and start.
Christian, mate, how do you know it's a scam? Now let's just keep an eye out where we're going here. We've got Hotel 8, 7, and we want the last one, which is Hotel 6. So there's Hotel 8. Oh, again, huge massive signs, really nice to see. Hotel 7 now on the left, and then after that. And Hotel 6. I really like the texturing of this airport. I think it's absolutely fantastic. We don't need to stop there at the CAT 2-3 holding points. We can go to Hotel 6 all the way down there. Love that low shadow in the sky. There we go. So holding steady at the moment, just check our brake temperatures. They're absolutely fine. I'm going to have to ask my first officer to stick his head out the window and check the the approach path is clear. Let's give ATC a gentle reminder that we're here. Alpine 54 Papa X-ray is holding short, Hotel 6 for runway 06 right. Don't know if you can hear me typing away.
To my code.
Ich hab den, guck mal, ich hab den Sendungsschutz.
So, just being quiet in the hope that we get a call.
Sorry, what's somebody for a taxi?
Alpine 54, Papa X-ray is ready for departure, holding point here, Hotel 6406, right?
Wind 6 degrees south.
Is that a takeoff clearance? And Alpine 54, Papa X-ray, just confirm we are clear for takeoff. Oh good lord, is he on a siesta? I'm not going till I hear the cleared for takeoff. I got winds.
Full attack 6 Lima Papa, ready for taxi.
Bye.
Tower, good evening, Welling 3918, 6 miles out, service light.
Welling 3918, one I need to, wind 06 degrees south, 06 right, slip takeoff. The clear sign, sorry, 06 left, sorry.
To line, service left, Welling 3918.
Palma Tower, very good evening. Flight 6, Tango Mike, tax 738, gate 56.
We'll give him another call in a second.
1019. Approx to Paris-Orléans, please.
I think he's just said stand by. He's also very quiet. I don't know if he sounds quiet to you guys on the stream.
Palma Tower, Iberica 275 at parking 62 with information mic. Request IFR clearance to Genève.
Bonsoir. Iberia 275. I'll call you back in a minute, okay? France Flight 16 Mark, ready to copy?
Hey, Palm.
We'll just wait here. We've got all night. It's Friday. Lee, if he was watching the stream, he'd know I'm sat here waiting to go.
Can you repeat, please?
I'll send you, yeah, I'll probably for Papa X-ray, clip takeoff 065.
There we go. Clear for takeoff 06, right. Alpine 5 for Papa X-ray, thank you. Okay, let's go. Let's get the strobes on. Let's get the turn off lights, landing lights, nose lights.
Yeah, 2 to claim for taxi gate. Papa, so...
And TCAS transponder.
Full attack 6 Lima Papa, taxi via Papa to the holding point of runway 065.
Okay, we're good to go. Rolling takeoffs are permitted in the 320, so we'll roll with that. Ready to go. Takeoff. Start the chrono and set 50% N1. Set takeoff thrust. Man flex. SRS. There's 80 knots.
Number 2, Welling 3918.
100 knots. Welling 3918, Palma Mallorca, where would you like to park?
Whatever you want.
Vale.
V1, rotate.
Taxi Golf 150.
Golf 160.
Nav.
Here.
Om een traveler, Ryan, until 40
I'm putting the autopilot on because I'm listening to ATC.
Good evening, Ryan.
Autopilot 1 now engaged. Over to departure, 119.4 Alpine 54 Papa X-ray. Bye bye.
Right.
Departure Alpine 54 Papa X-ray, passing 2,200 on the Mero 6 Bravo departure.
54 Papa X-ray, good evening, radar contact, climb flight level 120.
Flight level 120 Alpine 54 Papa X-ray. And flaps,
5931, right heading
0, ground spoilers disarmed.
010. Right heading 010, Woody Air, Euro 5931, and heading on to south. Afa, we're about 20 miles out. Roger, thanks. And the Europe 593.
I knew I'd forgot something. Thank you, HD. I missed the initial climb altitude, didn't I? I thought the call was one piece of information too short. Let me.
71 Bravo, are you okay or are you too high?
Ah, that sounds familiar.
We're good. 71 Bravo. Roger.
Oh, HD, that's a good call. Is that past 10,000 feet? Have I done that too soon? I'm not actually sure I know the answer to that question.
Bulgaria 71 Bravo, contact tower 1183, 118.3, bye-bye.
Tower 118.3, 71 Bravo, bye-bye.
Set it when above minimum safe altitude. That would have been 3,000 feet in the case of this departure.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your
I do love
seatbelt
departing
fastened whenever you are
Palma. I
seated.
think it's a really nice scenic
Toilets are
view.
located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
Coming up on 10,000 feet, we don't need to have the lights on anymore.
Direct to Alpha Delta X-ray.
Direct Alpha Delta X-ray from Jet 115.
Ah, HD, that's a great nugget of information. So even though our MSA was 3,000 feet, within 25 miles, the lowest was 7,000 feet. So, yeah, I get that now. So, as HC's just confirmed, even though we're not technically going that way, that's still the highest, so...
Pepper X-ray, monitor Unicorn 122.8, have a good one, bye for now.
Over to Unicorn 122.8, thanks for the service, Alpine 54 Papa X-ray, good night. So, just clear the RadNav page out as well. Flight level 360, we're good. We're now on Unicom, so let's continue our climb. Flight level 360. Thrust climb. Climb 360 blue. Not sure what's going on with the VDEV block just there.
Sorry, we are going missed with you.
Christian, you and I have learnt something today, as we always do when HD's on the chat, so that's great. Well, we're well above 7,000 feet.
Runway heading, Bulgarian 71 Bravo.
Someone's going missed.
Roger.
I kind of want to continue listening, to be honest, so should we keep an ear out? I can also tune to Unicom separately on COM2, but it's quite nice listening to Mr. Approaches.
Turn left heading 030.
Left on, say again the heading, sorry.
Left 030, left.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
030,
captain has now turned off the seatbelt sign and you are now free to move around the cabin. We do recommend, however, when in your seat, that you
We were very close, weren't we, coming into Palma here the other evening. Well, it wasn't the other evening, it was the other morning. It was a morning flight we arrived here. And we were a touch high, but we managed to to use HD's words, we rescued it.
Turn right immediately, Voltaire 216 Papa, you're very close to Navigraph. Turn right, 090.
And the missed approach procedure here is well worth reviewing, and if you can now use the fixes pages as I did during the approach here the other day, it's a big help. Darren, can you do an auto land on VATSIM? Yes, of course you can. Yes. Peter says recommend the egg sandwich on the PA. HD, you can do that next time. Let me know how that goes down with the cabin crew.
7,000 and turn left to 240 degrees, 71 Bravo.
Callum, the A320 you can't dump fuel, so it wouldn't be simulated. Russell, it's real time in sense of the speed and everything of the aircraft, the flight time, but no, we've changed the time of the simulator to daytime just because for some reason the simulator you can't see other aircraft lights at night, which is quite important when flying on a multiplayer system. HT, if I got the instruction from ATC to turn right immediately, I would disconnect the autopilot and hand fly that at a good bank angle of at least a minimum 25 degrees, if not 30.
Bulgarian 71 Bravo, speed 210 knots. 210.
Speed 210, 71 Bravo.
Oh, gold star for that answer. What a great way. We ought to have the Friday night quizzes. The answer you didn't want was use the autopilot. Yeah, it's perhaps not quite aggressive enough in situations like that. Land O'Lakes, that's a great question. If you cleared for the visual, is it still okay to use the ILS? Well, if you've got it tuned, you might as well use it as a guide, yes. So Christian, you cheated. I can come off Unicom. I can come off that now and go on to Unicom. I just wanted to hear the go around and missed approach procedure. Let's just come off that. So Christian, you said you cheated a little bit earlier. You wanted to do a teardrop approach in for an ILS, but you're 2,000 feet too high over the VOR on the airfield, so you changed your approach to a VOR DME arc, so it gave you some track miles. Lee Rose, Captain, there's a knock on the door. It's cheese board time. Oh well, what we need is the tray tables to be able to be extended, and then we need a HD avatar sort of sat there, don't we? with ruler in hand. I'm sure someone could do that. Someone far cleverer than me. So all I'm doing at the minute is just checking how we're doing with the climb rate, and fuel flow, fuel burn looks good. No visible moisture to worry about. Temperature is fine. Quite a short flight today. We're going to be on the ground in less than an hour, so I'm already having a look at sort of the arrival into Lyon. And just looking now with regards to setting and working out a top of descent. So if we're doing the RMP, RNAV, is it RNAV or RMP? It's going to be RMP. But if we're doing that approach, then this is really useful. So here at Arbon, we're going to be running 3.5 right, I believe it is. We want flight level 70 at this point, and it's just under 29 miles to the threshold. So let's work out when to start at top of descent. So we're still monitoring the climb, of course, but because it's a short flight, then obviously nothing wrong with sorting stuff out like that as well. So let's have a little look at that. We're going to be cruising at flight level 360. If we want 7,000 feet by there, that means we need to lose 29,000 feet, multiplied by 3, so that's 87 miles, but we might have a little bit of a headwind. So if we need to slow down as well. Have we got any speed constraints on the approach? We do, actually, quite far out. So max 250 knots and 220 knots. At this point, good track mileage on here as well. So if we begin that descent with time to slow down and a slight headwind, I'm going to start to think about that top of descent about 95 miles away. So we're going to use the fixes page to get that popped in. 95 miles away from that waypoint. Magnus Muon, thank you so much for your very kind donation there, and you're a controller there at Gothenburg and in real life. Wow. You know, believe it or not, that was actually the job I wanted. ATC. I wanted to be an ATCO all the way from about sort of 7 years old. I loved it. Unfortunately back then the required medical I was unable to pass. It's changed now, and you know, I could potentially do it, but Magnus, that is very, very kind of you, and the fact that you do it in real life, that is wonderful. You're gonna have to let us know when you're controlling. If you're on our Discord, Magnus, let me know next time you're there and controlling, and we'll try and come visit you, because that would be great to do, wouldn't it? So really, really kind of you. Thank you. So let's quickly go in the fixes page and pop that in. Arbon. And I said we were going to look at about 95 miles for the top of descent there. And if I zoom out, we can probably see that ring. There it is, there's our top of descent, sort of when we intersect that line. HD is LSE on the airfield. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Well, it's at the sort of far end of the airfield, yes. So we can use that as a VOR to help us as well. Continuous descent operations. We'll see how well we do with that, shall we? Oh, Simon, you used to work at Nats, West Drayton, as an ATC assistant. So I often wondered about that job, whether I'd have been able to, what medical was required for sort of that work, just as an assistant. I'd have been more than happy doing that. But yeah, I originally, when I was a kid, I sort of planned my life out, before I failed medical, of course, that I was going to head down to Bournemouth for 18 months and hopefully, if I passed all the tests and that was going to be my my career. Sadly, as many things, didn't work out that way. Frequency is 114.75. There we go. We'll pick that up as and when. Do you know, I don't know if the FlyByWire team have done something to the airport's database on the EFIS, because it doesn't seem anywhere near as cluttered. Having said that, we're over the ocean at the minute, aren't we? So there's not going to be that many in the immediate vicinity. So, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the actual display looks much better. Adib, thank you so much. Says great videos. You're enjoying them so much. Please do keep it up. Oh, we will. Adib, thank you so much for that. Dr. Magic, you're a newbie to VATSIM. You find approach and landing the most terrifying. At least with the departure's not so bad, is it? But approach and landing, you can't stop. So, HD, you failed the NAT selection twice. You were too normal. And Ellis, do Easyjet do flights from Stansted to Alicante? They probably used to, but the Stansted base is closed now, sadly. And that happened just before COVID as well, didn't it? Ron, your dream since you were 4-year-old was an Easyjet pilot. You're now 14. Oh, keep that dream alive. Keep that dream alive. And Barry, did you try 3 times? Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Very hard. I tell you, when you click the airport on the EFIS, yeah, you just get a bunch of grass strips that you can't land the 320 on. Quite right. Oh, there's an old adage: landing is mandatory, takeoff is optional. Isn't it usually the other way around? Takeoff's optional, landing is mandatory. But yeah, absolutely. Magnus again with another very kind donation. Magnus, you've also been a steward on a Swedish domestic airline. Magnus, aviation just runs in your blood, doesn't it? That must be such a great, absolutely great career that you've had. Obviously flying and now ATC. That is just wonderful. Really, really good. Everything in the climb is looking nice. We've got 2,000 feet to go. We'll do a fuel check and then we'll start briefing how we are going to plan this approach. I don't think ATC is online, so we're going to be kind of on our own for that, so that's okay.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Ellis, sadly I think Stansted is permanently closed as a base. Easyjet do still fly from it, but it's more domestic now, I'm afraid. They might do the odd one or two over the summer. Right, let's have a look. Oh, actually, we've got 1,000 feet to go, so let's just get up there, and then we'll run some quick top of climb checks. We'll also get some weather as well. Just get some weather as well. Send that off. Hey, so Ron, you asked what real ops, what is meant by real ops, and HD answered, trying to fly as realistic as possible. Thanks for including the word trying there, HD. There's Mac and Alt Star. Company messages come through. INAV35 right, and Alt Cruise. Whoops, ignore that. So let's just go ahead, read that METAR off. We'll not press the print button. So wind is 15 at 3. That's interesting. To be fair, the winds were reported earlier as they were going to be light and variable, so I'm going to bet we're still landing on 335. There's a very quick way to check. And that is Flight Radar 24. Let's see what they're doing in the real world, shall we? Yeah, they're still landing on... Oh, actually they're landing on 35 left now. Well, technically that would make sense if the ILS is out. So if that is the case, we still do the same approach, but let's go with 35 left. So let's just get that wind. Is 150 at 3. Temperature is 13 degrees. QNH is 1022. So let's just go in and edit that. So it's going to be ILS 35 left. Again, yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? If the ILS is out for the other runway. So that is going to be still the same approach, I think, isn't it? Is it the mezzine? Is it 5 November or 5 Sierra? Let's have a quick check. Or is it the 5 Echo? There's probably several we could choose from, to be fair, isn't it? So there's the 5 November. They all still come to Arben. So we'll go with the mezzine 5 November, unless I can see anything on the chart to the contrary. Which is the one we were using originally anyway. And then I just need to change the approach charts that we have from the RMP 35 right to the 35 left. That's the com failure procedures. Don't need that one. So that's from Arben to leave Arben, heading 060. We'd be vectored by this point to capture the ILS. 435 left. ILS frequency is 110.75. Landing elevation is 814. Missed approach. Straight ahead, 5,000 feet. And expect radar vectors. Transition altitude is 5,000 feet. And the platform altitude is 3,000 feet. Let's have a look as we're coming in. The minimum safe altitude. Oh wow, okay, that's more complicated than I've seen for a while. Let's just have a look. We've got MSA on here. There we go. So as we leave Arbon, we're going to be sort of just coming in, intersecting a 4,000 feet area, minimum safe altitude, and then as we're coming down, obviously getting down to the platform altitude, 3,000 feet. Minimum safe altitude around the airport is 3,200 feet, and that's just because we've got the terrain, as you can see, the south and the southeast. So be aware of that if we have any problems. Visibility is good. So runway visual range is above 550 meters, so it's going to be a Cat 1, and our decision altitude is going to be 1014. So let's just get all that performance information inserted. That QNH 1022, temperature of 13. That wind was actually giving us a very slight tailwind, 150 at 3. Transition altitude is 5,000 feet. And decision altitude was 1,014. And that now, remember, is for runway 35 left, as shown there. So in terms of our top of descent, that hasn't changed. That's still the same. We're still going to obviously respect the speed constraints as we come in. The first one is max 250 knots at Amico, and then slowing to 220 knots. Now their max speed, let's just see what's green dot going to be. Oh nice, well green dot's going to be 215, so we'll fly at, we'll just fly at green dot. So then, the plan of attack is, we've got our top of descent, we're going to be flight level 070 leaving Arbon. By this point we're going to be at green dot anyway, from 34 miles from Lima Sierra Echo. As we leave Arbon, we should leave Arbon at a heading of 060 degrees. That should bring us in nicely then on the ILS. We'll leave Arbon and we can descend down to 4,000 feet to keep us nice and safe. And at Negpu, that's obviously where we would intercept the glide slope if we were at 3,000 feet by that point. Just quickly checking this, the chart doesn't make that too clear, but I would imagine if we get down to 4,000 feet, we're far enough out there, we'll be below the glide slope at that point. So as we leave Arbon and approach that, it's going to be quite straightforward after we've left Arbon to configure flaps 1, and then we'll get flaps 2 out, speed 180 knots as we go down for a nice straightened approach. As we land, we're then going to be looking to vacate, most likely on Alpha 5 or Alpha 4, and then backtracking, taxiing down Tango to the remote stand just here surrounding Lima and Juliet. We'll aim to land and taxi to parking stand at Lima. Let's have a quick look at the missed approach. I think that was pretty straightforward actually on the chart. That's just going to be climbing ahead to 5,000 feet. If we do have to go miss, then that's what we'll do. We will climb straight ahead to 5,000 feet and we will make, we'll have to vector ourselves, so we will make a left turn to keep ourselves away from all the terrain over here. We'll make a left turn, we'll just come back in, we'll get up to then 6,000 feet, minimum safe altitude there, 6,000 feet. And what we could do is, if we wanted to begin the entire approach again, we could come back towards the Victor November Echo VOR, and from there have another go at bringing ourselves back in and around. So I'm just going to put the Victor November Echo VOR on the navigation display, which again I can do with the fixes. and that's just for situational awareness in the event of a go around. Let's just check some runway lengths. So what are we on now? 3.5 left, isn't it? 3.5 left. It's going to be 3,667 meters. Nice long runway, standard 45 meters. So yeah, hopefully we're now all nicely prepped for that. HD, could you confirm something for me? So runway length, runway width is 45 meters, but the high intensity runway lights, are they approach lights obviously wider? Are they 60 meters? Whilst you're typing the answer to that, one final thing I want to check is it is just a normal 3-degree descent path.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Sun will be getting a little bit lower in the sky as we approach Lyon, which is quite nice. I like a nice low sun. So HD, you think that's the 60 meters spacing between them, but you need to check. That's fair enough. The key is knowing where to check, isn't it? And if you know that, you know you're doing well. So I'm now going to get the constraints turned on just there, and I should have those speed restrictions now showing. There's our top of descent arc. Just checking that headwind. That headwind's quite strong here, so we're going to be absolutely fine with that top of descent. Magnus again with another very, very kind donation. And Magnus says, yeah, aviation is your life. I'd love to know how you originally got into it, Magnus, right from, well, I'm presuming a young age. If you sound like you've had so many great jobs in the aviation industry, but what was the first and how did you get into it? Would love to know that. So we're all about ready for our descent then. So we've got the weather and the landing information. The FMGC is coded. I'm just going to quickly go through the plan mode, see what this looks like. So let's just scroll through. Let me just zoom out a little bit there. Something's actually not looking quite right. Just there. What have we got? We should have... Hang on. It may just be... Oh no, it is right. It's just the way we're coming in. We could probably do a direct actually. But no, we're okay. We'll keep it as it is. We're only about half an hour away. That's what we could do if we just look at the arc and zoom out a little bit. You can just see we basically come up from the south and then we actually pick the star up from sort of down here, come in and then go off at an angle. But that's all right. So we'll just zoom in and check that again. HD, we'll do that in a moment. So just checking, we've got these coded correctly. We've got Mezzin, we've got Agrev, we've then got Amico, and then we've got a distance of 34 miles from LSC, which is shown just here. Let's continue to scroll through that. and then we leave Arbon, flying manually a track of 060 degrees. We can't clear this to continuity because there's a gap in the flight plan, but that's fine. We'll continue on that track, and then we'll get the we'll pick up the ILS. What we could do as well, we did this the other night and I actually quite like this. This is whether you do this or not in the real world so early on. You probably wouldn't, HD will confirm, but I actually quite like having the extended centerline, which I can now do. So Lima Fox, Lima 3 5 left, and what is the let me just have a look, what's that going to be? So that's going to be, the inbound track is 354, so 174, and that'll just show me how close we're going to intercept. There we are. And that's where we'd intercept the ILS. So really do like seeing that. Great thing that the Fly-by-Wire team have done there. Makes it really nice. Renato, wow, Renato, thank you so much for your $19.99 donation. That is very, very kind of you, Renato. I hope you've had a great week, and hope you've got a great weekend lined up as well. Thank you so much for coming on board the flight this evening, and I hope that hope you're enjoying the flight so far. Really, really do appreciate that. So it's very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. So we're not far off the top of the descent now, as we can see, which is nice. HD, have I tried extending the centerline? Not through the conventional means, no. I've only done it this way. I've not done it with the direct. I've not had chance yet, but I do want to have a play with that when I get chance. Oh, Magnus, you really are so kind, Magnus. Another donation, and he tells me, Magnus, you started when you moved to Singapore in the early 80s and flew around Asia a lot. Wow, Magnus, wow, you sound like you've been all over the world in the aviation industry. That sounds amazing. What a life. HD, if I try doing it the normal way, I couldn't do that now, could I? Because if I did, I'd remove all the waypoints between here and there. Is that right? I think that's what we were discussing the other day. Ellis, haven't done a tutorial on the latest version of the Fly-by-Wire. I think, do you know what, I'm just having to think. We've obviously got the main basis tutorial, and then basically other videos have come along to show you the new features that have that sort of get added to it. Things like this fixers page. Killed Red Ted on Twitch, hello. Hope you're well. HD says, yes, don't do it now, but try it after Arbol, or Ardrol, whatever it's called. Yes, so just to confirm, what we would do is obviously not do it now, but we'd go DIR, then, correct me if I'm wrong, then HD, so we go DIR, not Arbol, forget that. We would go DIR all the way to the bottom, with then choose a waypoint on the final approach track, which is FF35 left. So we select that, and then we'd put the we could put the radial in, couldn't we, of the actual track, which, what was it, 354. So obviously we can try it after we've left Arbon, because there's nothing left after that. Negpoo is also on the track. Lyon Aviator, the MTL arrival is more direct. Good evening, Lyon Aviator. Off to your home base, I think, aren't we? you put the 174 radial out in. So essentially it's the same as I've done here on the fixers page. We can try that. See what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, you will be delighted to hear that we will shortly be starting our descent into our destination, at which point the cabin crew will start preparing for our arrival. If you could please make sure that all the aisles are clear and the cabin crew are able to make their way around the aircraft without any luggage in the aisles, that would be most appreciated. A reminder for our Easyjetsimpilot members that free drinks are still available from the cabin crew until the seatbelt signs are turned on. Please note, however, that the toilets will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
Anyone want to try and hazard a guess which runway we can just see down there as we're making our left-hand bank? Christian, you slowed over HD to grab a PC and then we can do your controls, because it'd be far funnier to hear HD yelling at me in real life. Jayhawk, good evening. HD says yes, so doing it that way would be similar. It would extend the flight plan track outbound from the Fox 35 Lima waypoint. Don't forget to disarm nav by pulling speed if it works. Say that again. Don't forget to disarm the nav by pulling speed if it works. Well, now I'm very confused. Am I having a brain? Am I having a daft brain moment? Disarm nav by pulling speed. Go on, talk me through that one slowly, HD. It is Friday night. Let's just do a quick chat about the fuel. We've just left Mike Romeo Mike. Which would make sense that was Marseille Airport down there, well spotted. We should have 2.4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We should have about 3.1, 3.2 tons on board. Oh, actually, we have burnt a little bit. Mind you, we were on the ground for a while, weren't we? That's why. Oh, HD, thank God for that. Yeah, pull heading, not speed. I'm thinking, have I missed something? There's a fundamental function of the FCU that I've not cracked here, if that's the case. Yeah, so actually, you're right, we would need to do that. If we were going direct, then obviously the aircraft would normally, when you enter it, enter nav mode automatically if it wasn't already. I don't think it does that at the moment. I think there's a sim bug, but we will have to check it because we wouldn't want to fly towards that final fix, would we? Right, so we're going to begin our descent down to 7,000 feet in a moment. Out of tank cross fuel cross feed is taking place. Yeah, drop below 750 kilogram. I've not checked to see if that actually worked accurately, but it appears it does. Okay, so we've just crossed that line. Let's start to head down. 7,000 feet it is. Just before I pull that, I'm going to do one final check of the OFP and make sure that after leaving Marseille there isn't anything daft with regards to the moorers. And there's not. the lowest is 4,700. So we're good. So thrust idle, open descent, 070 blue. And down we go. Quick look over the glare shield. Herman Johnson, good Saturday morning to you from Australia. That sounds so strange considering that it's 10 to 10 PM here in the UK. Easyjet, that is a good question. How often do you need to do RMPAR approaches, and you need to keep current for you to fly the approach? Over to you, HD. They are quite common though, aren't they? And the company normal reserve, which we need to acknowledge. What was the CNR? Oh, it's 1.9 tons, so we're a good ton. We're just under a ton over that, so plenty of time to have another go if we have a problem. RMPARA approaches are the kind of approaches that aren't they the ones that you just sit there and watch the aircraft navigate its way through a load of GPS points and get you nice and close to mountains, but are actually very, very safe. You just sit there and watch and think, wow. So we should have a 10 to 15 minutes extra by the time you start the approach. HD, just remind me, and I know everyone on the channel would love to know this, what's the general rule of thumb for fuel to minutes flying? Is 1 ton about 20 minutes? Is it 1 ton per 20 minutes? Have a look at our track miles to go. 113. So getting below that profile now, which is good. 400 kilograms approximately 10 minutes. Again, it's these nuggets of information that I love hearing. Leon, sorry, Brian, you've just landed at Lyon, you've parked L13, waiting for me to show up. Get me a beer in while you're there, Brian. It's Friday night. Shaviza25, how do I choose the flight? That is a good question. Random, I guess, but Flight Radar 24 always helps. Magnus again with another really great donation. Magnus, you really are so kind. Too kind, in fact, Magnus. But Magnus says it's 5 to 11 in Sweden. HD chooses where to fly because it's by looking at the operational flight plan. Yeah. Yeah, we're about 25 track miles extra to go compared to our altitude, so that's all good. Let's just slow the aircraft down a little bit, so we'll go for now 270 knots. And we can actually use a nice VS of if we did 1,000 800 feet per minute and keep it at that. We should be good. We'll obviously just keep an eye on it. We need to slow down to 250 knots as well by the speed restriction points, and then we want to be green dot by, what was the name of that waypoint? I forget. It's on the navigation display. Oh, it's not a waypoint, it's by 34 miles from Lima Sierra Echo, which is showing here actually. So that's a good help, but at 34 miles we want to be green dot. So we'll have activated the approach phase by that point. Brian, it's Air Canada, so your cargo hold is full of beer and the pitot tube is actually a tap. Oh, that sounds great. Fitzy, hello, you've just woken up. Fitzy, where in the world are you? Remind me again. Let's just have a quick moment looking outside, because we've not done that too much here, and I know the profile's looking good at the minute, so 5 minutes or so and we'll double check that. Darren, you're looking forward to the day you can actually fly alongside in VATSIM just behind, and you feel the day is edging closer and closer. Darren, that's great to hear. Yeah, it's make that leap. Once you do, you'll find it difficult not to fly without VATSIM. It doesn't feel as real. If you've enjoyed the flight this evening, then please do remember to give the stream a like as well if you haven't already. It really helps the YouTube channel. And of course, if you are new here, then please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on that notifications bell so you don't miss future live streams and video content. Oh, Fitz, you're in Melbourne, Australia. Oh, that makes sense. Nice looking approach, isn't it, coming in? Really neat. Like the view of the quarry or something down there. I've said this before, I think, but the great thing I love about Microsoft Flight Simulators is you can be flying over random places like this, just down there, and I'm looking and thinking, what's the name of that river? What town is that? What is that quarry? What does it actually do? You know, what are they mining? Is it limestone? And I guess that's one of the reasons why I really like the Sunday night streams, as and when we can actually find time to do them. Sadly, that's not always the case. Oh, Magnus, that is really kind. And Magnus says there are a lot of flight simmers out there, but this is one of the best channels. And Magnus, thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate that. So we're 20,000 feet, and yeah, descent rate looks okay at the moment. We still need to slow down, so we can just edge that down to 2,000 feet per minute. And Chevers25, thank you so much for subscribing. Christian, it's not limestone, they're digging for bitcoins. Velox, hello my friend. Glad you're here. No flights tomorrow. I tend not to fly on a Saturday unless it's a special occasion. Or the wife's got something better to do. Oh, Fitzy, you've just shattered our dreams here. You don't actually drink Foster's. It's just marketed for the export markets. And here's me thinking that's all you guys drank. Now, this kind of approach, I would love to have the terrain radar working, but hey-ho. Velox, that's a good question. What's the difference between open climb and climb? So if you are in climb, which is essentially managed climb, then it will respect any altitude constraints on your departure path, your standard instrument departure. Open climb will not, it'll just cruise straight through them. Other than that, there's no difference. I think climb as well, actually, HT will confirm this, climb as well is more dictated to by the cost index, where open climb is the speed, is it not? I may have just made that up. That could be a pile of rubbish for a Friday evening. I think it's just the constraints that are the difference, but HT will confirm that. Starting to get a tad bumpy now.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you may have noticed that we have just begun our final descent into our destination. If you could now assist the cabin crew by tidying up your tray table and handing them any litter as they come around, that would be most appreciated. For safety reasons, we ask now that you please turn off all electronic devices or switch them to airplane mode until after we have landed. Please note that the aircraft toilets are now out of use. If you wish to become a Easyjetsimpilot channel member, please contact a member of your cabin crew who will be happy to assist you. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed your flight.
Okay, let's get those seatbelt signs on, run the approach checklist. So minimums are set, 1014. Engine mode selector is normal, electronic flight bag is stowed. Chalty. So a cabin crew member didn't secure the bar trolley, and on landing it shot down the aisle, smashed into the flight deck door, flooded the flight deck with duty-free spirits which poured out of the bilge drains. Oh wow. And suddenly all the ground crew could be seen underneath the aircraft with their mouths open and cups in hand. Oh, what a story. What a waste of money. Let's get those landing lights on. So we've just slowed down the VS to 1,000 feet per minute. Activate the approach phase. We are in selected speed at the minute, aren't we? Yeah. So approach phase is activated. Check the temperature as well just as we go through these clouds. A couple of build-ups in front of us as we can see. Love the shadow of the sun coming through there. Shadow of the sun. I don't think that's right, is it? But basically the sun rays shining through. Sat is starting to warm up, so that's okay. So just put thrust idle, open descent, and set 250 the speed. I tell you, it's funny, the APU starts up better when the start button is pressed. Yeah, it starts up faster as well. What is it HT says? Those that haven't and those that will. Or rather, those that have and those that will. Those clouds look like they're coming and emanating out from the ground, don't they? And just lower that down to 500 feet per minute. To be honest, it won't matter. We're coming up on 7,000 feet now. Not going to be the perfect continuous descent approach that we were after, but never mind. Nick, good evening, sir. Hope you're well. Where have you been flying to today, Nick? I know you'll have been flying. Didn't I see in the Discord that you've now got four thrust levers ready for the A380 when that comes out? Ooh, hello wind turbines. Let's see how fast the wind's blowing. Oh no, they're going nice and slow. That's okay. How to judge the wind if you're not in an Airbus with a wind indicator on your navigation display. So let's go to green dot then as we approach 34 miles from Lima Sierra Echo.
Cabin crew, about 15 minutes to landing. If you can prepare the cabin, thank you.
So we're going to leave Arbon getting down to 4,000 feet, and at 220 knots we're going to go flaps 1 as well. We're going to pick up the glide slope, I would imagine, quite early on. If we can get underneath that just a little bit, flaps 2 out to come up and meet it. Clouds, just keeping an eye on the temperature, see if we need that ice. Slowed down nice and early. "26 miles to go."
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
Probably got down a little bit sooner than we needed to. I knew we got to slow down, but the headwind which we did have also really increased as we went down, so that slowed us down a little bit more than I'd factored in for, but never mind. Cholty, that's a great story. Well, sort of. But you had a blocked toilet and a South African 757 blocked with bags of white powder. Called customs in, they found £60,000 worth of cocaine, and you got a £500 reward, which you very generously then gave to children in need. What a great cause. Well done, guys. HD asks, did the kids like the coke? Would they have rather had that than the £500 reward? Christian following up with a similar comment. So there we can see the extended centre line, which we're going to go and have a go. We'll not do it just yet, but I'll get it ready. We'll have a look at doing this in a second. "5 miles to go, we'll begin that descent. and as I said, I'd quite like flaps 1 out as we leave, heading down there. Then we're easily in a good position to get flaps 2 out. Sun shouldn't be a problem as we come into land either. Sun's out obviously to the west. We've got a northerly runway, so no glare. The aviator sunglasses are not required. So this should go into heading mode automatically, shouldn't it, after we pass Armand. So let's configure flaps 1, speed checked, flaps 1. Let's pull 180 knots. And thrust idle, open descent. We'll set QNH 1022, 4000 blue. Are we in heading mode now? We're not, we're just straight on. So let's pull heading mode, and can I put that in? Ah, it doesn't work. No, I can't put a radial in. Okay, well the thought was there. Never mind. So let's get down. Here we go. Around about 27 miles to go. Remembering that distance, however, is at the end of the runway, so it's a little bit shorter than that. There's the localizer now coming in. HD, I did see you'd say I was pressing the wrong one. Sadly, neither of them work. Which is a shame, but never mind. So let's just slow down that rate of descent as well. We don't need to descend quite that quickly. Alarm the localizer capture. Lock blue. Magnus, how do you become a premium member? Oh, Magnus, and another donation to go with it. Well, Magnus, yeah, as Lando Legs has just said, I think you already are. But you can join the channel by pressing the red join button here on YouTube, and then that gives you the option to become a member if you do so wish. But thank you again, Magnus. You really have been incredibly generous. So we're at 180 knots, intercepting that localizer any minute now, and we should see that lock start in a second. We've got flaps 1 selected. We're nicely beneath the glide slope, even though it's not showing yet. There's lock star. Lyon traffic Alpine 54 Papa X-ray is establishing now runway 35 left, 20 miles to run. And I love the colours of the clouds in this simulator at night. Here comes the glide slope. I did say it got a little bit of cloud cover as well. Anti-ice isn't required. So that's just obscuring our view at the moment. Alt star, radio altimeter is alive. Paul Perez, yes, this is the experimental version.
Cabin crew seats were ready.
So the full length of the runway is 4,000 meters. Nice long runway.
2,500.
Red altimeter alive again. Bumpy terrain beneath us. Just keeping an eye now, looking for that glide slope. We should be any second now because Nepu is 3,000 feet, so that'll come alive in a second. Then we'll get flaps 2 out to come and meet that. There we go, runway's in sight.
2,500.
Martin, do I advise experimental over the dev? Yes, certainly for VATSIM. HD, am I eyeballing the glide slope or using FPA? I'm about to turn the approach mode on. Nice, nice way of kindly reminding me. But anyway, here it comes. So we'll arm the approach, glide slope blue, and flaps 2, speed check.
2,500.
And we'll hold 180 knots for now. HD, that was possibly the most subtle I've ever known you.
2,500.
Chelsea, can I help you set up VATSIM when I've got time? Certainly can, mate. What do you want setting up? If it's the if it's sort of like the model matching and all that stuff, then it's Nick that you want to speak to, and he's done a great tutorial written in the pilot's briefing room of our Discord channel. So that'll certainly help you with the model matching. Glide slope star, 5,000 feet, missed approach altitude set. Lyon traffic Alpine 54 Papa X-ray established, ILS runway 35 left, 9 miles. Eight miles to run. Reduce speed 160 knots. Oh, Autopilot 2. Why didn't we do that? I know. Do you know? I know exactly why we didn't do that. It's because we went from lock to AP to the approach mode, and yeah, the flow was different. Cat 3 dual, Autopilot 1 and 2. What would we do without your subtleness? The landing gear's going down. Spoilers are armed. Lights on.
Lyon traffic, Alpine 45 November.
And manage speed. Flaps 3, speed checked. Four and a half miles. Flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin is secured. Auto thrust speed. Go around altitude is 5,000. Set. ECAM memo. Landing no blue. Lyon traffic Alpine 34, correction, 54 Papa X-ray is 3 miles inbound, runway 35 left. Autopilot 1 and 2, disengaged, I have control. Got that variable wind, very slight tailwind, but hopefully nothing that's going to sort of derail us too much. Centerline looks good, 500 feet, approach stable.
400. 300.
Everything looking so good. Sometimes you don't want to try and correct anything. Just come slightly off that centre line. That tailwind's just blown us a little bit, but continue.
100.
Get back on that centre line.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
And reversers deployed. Correction, spoilers deployed. Reversers on. Decel. And 70 knots. Reversers off. And we shall vacate left onto, this will be Alpha 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or Easyjet app.
So left here now, straight down on to Tango, and we keep going all the way until we reach Tango Lima, I think it is, and then we go right on onto Lima for the remote stand. I'm following the pink aircraft, actually. That's where we're going. Welcome to Lyon, ladies and gentlemen. Just in time for a beer in the bar. Sadly, this isn't one of the custom-built, handcrafted airports, so I'm kind of having to count the taxiways as we go down, make sure we're in the right place. Now then, are these signs any good? They're not always great, are they? Charlie? No, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right in the slightest. In fact, is the remote stand there? Is that it? This building here? I don't think it's there, actually. I think the actual building is missing. Well, that could be my graphics settings. Although I do have detail turned up, so kind of strange that that's not there. This is most certainly not taxiway Bravo. I think we're just going to have to plump for one of the stands that we can see. Talia is the Pepto-Bismol livery. Not quite sure what they're doing there. In fact, is that aircraft taxiing? He is, isn't he? Where's he going? We'll hold our position just here. Give way to the company aircraft. Brian, are you actually parked there? Do you know what? I'm gonna park straight up here, and then I'll take the drone camera out and come and visit you. That was slightly overly aggressive with the engines, wasn't it? It's gone dark. I can't see the overhead. That GPU has been abandoned by somebody. Ah, stop. There we go. You know that drinks cart that wasn't secured, Chalty? I think it's just smashed up against the the flight deck door again. Let's get the parking brake on, and we'll turn engine number 1, engine number 2 off. We'll release the passengers and wait for the logbook to appear. Briefly dismiss that. Beacon light is off, and we can get the GPU connected. There it is. Let's just turn that up. There we go. Right, so if we are parked in the right place, then we should be able to spawn some of the some of the ground vehicles. Look at that, they're all there. Oh dear, I need a pump. I've left the flaps out. Duh. Now the question is, can I still put them up in the simulator without the hydraulics powered? You shouldn't be able to. Baggage and catering. There we go. We'll leave them down for a bit of de-icing. What's the temperature? Right, well, in that case, that's all good. Let's get the fuel pumps off. There we go. APU bleed is off. Let me call the COVID, please. Christian, that's a good point. We can get that. We can get that turned on. I'm curious to see, have they done this? Right, I'm going to put the flaps up. Are they going up? I bet they are. Let's have a quick look. Have they modelled it? Can they go up without them running? Oh, do you know what? They might not be. How neat is that? So I put the flaps up, but they are not moving. That is really, really neat. Okay, let's go ahead and let's see if we can. Let's see if we can do. I'm just curious. I want to see if we can do this now. So the blue override pump. Where? Let me get the dome light on. Can't see. So I don't normally have to do this. Is it the electric pump we need for the blue system HD? Or Chalty, the yellow electric pump? I don't think it's the yellow electric pump, is it? It's great to see that this has been modelled. I want to see if I can sort this out now. One second, let me see if I can get a good view of the overhead, and then there we go. So where am I looking now, HD? Past the circuit breakers. They're behind me, aren't they? I don't want to touch those. That's not right, surely. Oh, I can't look on that view. Hang on. keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. What, is it all the way over here? Oh, how am I going to get to that? Ugh. There it is. Oh, I've got there, and I've lost my mouse because I've changed the view. Oh, hang on, there it is. Right, blue override pump. Does that work? Right, the blue override pump is now turned on. So now we should be able to do it, shouldn't we? Should we have a go? We don't need to do anything else, right, HD? If I come down to the hydraulics. There we go. Shall we see if now I can put the flaps up? Let's try again. Oh, I don't think they've got that bit working yet. Oh, I was so excited to see if that actually worked. That would have been a great little feather in the cap if the fly-by-wire team had got that working. Ah, well, never mind. Call the maintenance crew. Sticky flaps. And on that note, I think it's time to say goodnight, everybody. Let's... oh, go on. One last thing then. Let me try the yellow electric prompt then. Let me try the yellow electrics. So we've got the yellow electric from PTU is pressurizing these. Let's try again. Cholty, you said the yellow pump, didn't you? Okay, let's see how... let's try now. No. They're... oh, actually, no, they are. But... are they going up? I think they are going up. But they retract more slowly, don't they? Or is it just my eyes? They might not be going up. I think it might just be my eyes. I'm going to have to sit and watch for a second now. Are they moving? I think it's my eyes. I don't think they are going up. I thought they were going up and creeping up very, very slowly. They should come up slowly though, shouldn't they? If that's if that works. If I zoom in, and I mean I really zoom in, we should see some sort of movement, shouldn't we? If they are going up. I could spend all evening watching this just to see if they work, but I don't think they are. Or are they? I honestly don't know. Something's moving. Something is definitely moving. They are moving. Yeah. They are moving. Incredibly slowly, which is correct. They should do it slowly. There, if I set that sort of angle there, which obviously isn't in the slightest bit realistic, I think they are moving, just perhaps a little slower than really slowly. It's just very difficult to get a camera angle that shows it. Oh well. I might end the stream, go walk the dog, and come back and see if these have moved at all. All right, guys, thank you so much for your company this evening. Really enjoyed that flight this evening, and it appears that lots of little fireflies have also come out to enjoy the show this evening at Lyon Airport. Look at that. Yeah, it's been great fun. What a great way to end the week. Love the Friday night streams. A huge, massive thank you to all of you who have donated, contributed towards the channel's upkeep during the stream tonight. Magnus, in particular, Magnus, thank you so much for your very, very generous donations all the way through. Really, really do appreciate yours and everybody else's contributions. Thank you so much for that. And to the Easyjetsimpilot channel members for your continued support as always. Look forward to chatting to you guys over the weekend on the Discord server. And HD, of course, our regular type-rated pilot who subtly reminds us about those things that we may not always do perfectly well because we're too busy chatting. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks so much for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all on Sunday evening for the Sunday night Iconic Journey stream. Good night, everybody.